Hi, everybody. I'm so excited that you are interested in participating in the first ever Give Local York, the first ever Big Give Day in York County history, which is coming on May 4th, 2018. My name is Megan Fieser, and I am working on behalf of the York Federal Fellows Alumni Association to bring Give Local York to York County on May 4th. Our goal for this first year is to have 200 nonprofits that work to benefit the residents of York County, hopefully raising $1 million in 24 hours, starting at midnight on May 4th and ending at 11:59 on May 4th. And throughout this process, it is really our goal to engage all of the participating nonprofits to give them some tools that will help them not only on Give Day, but beyond, to help them collaborate and work together to really help raise the bar for the work of the organizations in York County. And to that end, we have put together a series of various trainings that we're calling Giving Groundworks that will be available to you both via webinar and in person in the months between now and May 4th. And we've also put together an adapted work plan that we wanted to share with you. This is used by other communities who have Give Days. This is used by organizations that have gone through this process before, and we thought this plan would be helpful for you. It is an 8-week work plan, but there's nothing to stop you from starting the planning now. And in fact, we highly encourage you to start planning now, which is why we're going to share this information with you today. So we are calling this the Give Local Grind, and this is an 8-week work plan for a successful May 4th. And this document will be available to you in a PDF format via givelocalyork.org under our resources section. And I'll pull that up for you here so you can see. We have givelocalyork.org. There's information on participating and why you should participate in a nonprofit, which you probably have some of this information already, but on May 4th, you're going to be able to have access to the stretch pool and the prizes to make gifts go further. You'll connect with donors and build your online giving presence. You're going to be able to introduce yourself to thousands of new donors to grow awareness for your organization's work, bringing in new money, learning and deploying new marketing strategies, which is what we're trying to do here today, engaging your staff and your board and your supporters in new ways, and really just plugging into this community of doers and givers. We do have some info sessions coming up in January that will have some basic information on what Give Local York is and how your organization can participate. We do have some resources here up on the Give Local York website, information from the first information session that we held on December 13th. We have a video from that, as well as some of the frequently asked questions that came up during that session, and some other information here that you're going to want to check out. Also on the resources page, we are starting to build the media kit. At this point, we have the Give Local York logo for you. We have some brand standards in terms of the fonts that we use and the colors that we've been using, and some guidelines for social media, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So all of these resources are available to you, and there will be more coming between now and May 4th. But today I wanted to go through this document with you just to give you a little bit of background before you dive into the Give Local Grind 8-week work plan for a successful May 4th. So what you'll see in this document are some best practices. So the first best practice is using social media. Because Give Local York is an online event, all of the gifts are going to be coming in through givelocalyork.org on May 4th. Social media will obviously play a huge role. So even if you're new to social media, this is a great opportunity to dive in and get your feet wet with using different platforms like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is you want to use. I will put in a plug that on January 17th at noon, we are hosting a webinar on Social Media 101. So if you are a newbie to social media and you're interested in learning more, you can sign up for that webinar on givelocalyork.org, and I'll pull that up for you here so you can see under Giving Groundworks Tech Trainings. We have Social Media 101, and you can register for the social media seminar there through the website. So best practice number 1, social media. So what you're going to want to actually do before you get into social media is you're going to want to assemble your team. So you're going to want to look at who on your staff or your board or your volunteer base is really going to be your Give Local York team for that day. And gathering those people together is where you're going to start to dive in and answer some of these questions. So you want to look at what social media platforms are you going to use for Give Local York Give Day on May 4th. I'll share that Give Local York itself is going to be heavily using Facebook. We're on Instagram, and we're using Twitter as well. You want to look at what are the key messages that you want to convey on these platforms. What about your work do you want to share? How are you going to pitch yourself to people via social media? What social media prize challenges will you attempt to win? Challenges and prizes will be forthcoming as we get closer to Give Day itself, but there will be some additional prizes for the organizations who used social media best in the campaign leading up to Give Day. So once we reveal those prize challenges, you'll want to take a look and see if there are any that you're interested in going after. Number 4, do you have a staffing plan, and who will run your social media campaign in advance of Give Day and on Give Day itself? And what other tools and resources do you need to implement this practice and use social media for Give Local York Big Give Day? Best practices number 2 is board engagement. Board participation is going to be crucial to your success on May 4th. So you want to look at how are you going to engage your board and activate them to assist with your Give Local campaign. And I know that some of the organizations that are participating are new, and maybe you don't have a board as such, but you have an advisory committee or you have a leadership committee. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about your board. So first of all, you want to look at what will be your goal for board giving. And I'm going to suggest that your goal is 100%. You want all of your board and your leadership to be contributing to your Give Local York campaign. Again, what prize challenges will you and your board work on together? Prizes are forthcoming, so once we announce those, you'll have an idea of what prizes you're going to be going after. What donor engagement strategies will your board employ? So what in particular do you want to designate for your board to work on? What will your staff work on? What will your volunteers work on, etc.? What social media activity will you ask of your board? So whether your board has access to your organization's Facebook page, or if you're asking them to just be very vocal and supportive on their own social media, I would recommend making sure all of your board members like the Give Local York page, that they've RSVP'd to the Give Local York event on Facebook, and that they are reaching out to all of their friends and their network to do the same. What other communication and marketing activities will your board engage in? So how are you going to employ your board to help you spread the word? And what other tasks or strategies do you want your board to take part in? So these are all conversations that you should be starting to have now as you're firming up your plans to participate in Give Local York. Best practice number 3, donor engagement. So engaging your current donor base before, during, and after Big Give Day really drives home the importance of donor stewardship and cultivation and growing these relationships that you're going to be able to build upon on May 4th and beyond. So you want to look at how are you going to engage your current donor base. So people who are already supporting you, a Big Give Day like Give Local York is an awesome opportunity to get them to support you and help spread the word. So what we look at with Big Give Days, it's an additional opportunity for giving. So even though people may be supporting your annual campaign or they're supporting you throughout the year, Give Day is a time for an extra gift. And you want to engage them and encourage them to make a gift to you online through Give Local York on May 4th. You want to look at how are you going to thank your donors during May 4th, during Give Day event. Now, you will have a live link access to the Give Local York website once that's all set up, and you'll have real-time access to see who's donating to your organization and how much. So you'll have the ability to thank them immediately, and whether that is with a shout out on social media or an email or a phone call, you're going to want to start having those conversations to figure out how you're going to thank the people, the thousands of people who are giving you money on May 4th. And then you want to talk about what is your plan to thank your donors after May 4th, how you're going to follow up. Now, we do have a fiscal agent for Give Local York itself called the K Foundation, and they will be handling all of the gifts that come in on Give Day. They'll be keeping track of that. They'll be the organizations that is responsible for cutting you your check. They will also be responsible for sending out the tax recognition letters and receipts to the donors who give that day. But you are also going to want to send something as a thank you. So whether that is an email or a letter or a card, start talking about ways to thank the people who have supported you on Give Day. Number 4, how are you going to engage new donors? So, one of the big points of an event like Give Local York and a Give Day is to bring in new donors. And this is your opportunity to start building those relationships and really cultivating, hopefully, recurring and future donors. So start talking about ways to get those donors engaged, and whether that's inviting them in for a tour or inviting them to a recognition event, a thank you, a happy hour, a baseball game, any of those sort of things. Start having those conversations. And then looking at what tools and resources you need to implement that practice and to say thank you. Best practice number 4 for donor engagement, and this is knowing your audience. So in order to craft the right and most effective message, you want to know your audience. Who are they? How can you find them? And then how can you get them to be your best ambassadors? So number 1, you want to look at who are your current audiences, and whether those are current donors or the population that you serve, or partners, any of those sort of people. Who do you consider to be your current audience? Then you want to look at how you want to target your audience, and you want to prioritize this. So are you going to do it in person? Are you going to make phone calls that day? Are you going to send emails? Are you going to use social media? Start to prioritize how you're going to reach out to these audiences. Number 3, how are you going to find them? And that's going to be really dependent on who your audiences are and how you want to target them. This is a question that's going to be important to answer. Number 4, your message. How is the world different because you exist? How is York County different because you exist? And start thinking about what stories of impact you can share. Storytelling is going to be a really important piece of your Give Local York campaign. So you want to look at some stories of impact, whether that is people served or tangible projects you've created, and start figuring out ways that you can tell those stories, and how you can use those stories to encourage people to give you money so that you can continue to support your mission. And then again, always, what tools and resources do you need to prepare and to help you implement this practice of reaching your audiences and telling them stories. Best practice number 5 is goal setting, and this is super duper important. So your goals for Give Day are more than financial. So the dollars brought in, of course, are fantastic, and that's part of the reason why we're doing this. But we have more goals beyond just the money for Give Day. So you want to manage your expectation for setting those overall philanthropic goals. So are we looking at new donors? Are we looking at just general visibility for your organization? Are we looking at marketing, improving our marketing, or improving our social media approach? So you want to look at what is your financial goal for Give Local York. So go ahead and set out a number. We understand that this is the first year for this event. So, it's sort of a shot in the dark, but set a goal for yourself, because that will help you create your plan. What is your donor goal? How many donors are you looking to bring in on Give Day? And I would take it a step further and talk about also how many new donors are you hoping to reach on Give Day? What other goals are you planning to get out of Give Day, participating in Give Local York? So whether that is growing likes on your Facebook page or Twitter followers, or whether it is signing people up as volunteers and gaining volunteer hours on Give Day, what are some other goals you can get out of participating in this event? Number 4, how do you plan on measuring these goals? Again, when it comes to your financial goals and your donor goals, you will have access real time to the Give Local York website, so you will be able to track how much money you're bringing in from how many donors. But the other pieces, the less tangible pieces, sort of warm and fuzzies, you'll want to come up with an approach for measuring those. If your goals are growing your social media reach, obviously you can look at the number of followers you had before May 4th and the number of followers you had after, but coming up with a plan on measuring your goals so that you can see how impactful this day really was for you is going to be important. And then again, what tools and resources and staff are you going to need to implement this practice? Number 6, best practice is maximizing your communication tools. So once you've defined your audience, you've crafted your message, you've set your goals, you want to maximize the right communication tools that are available to you. So you can, send email marketing to traditional marketing. You want to use your board as effective ambassadors. Basically, you want to do all of these things. So you're bringing out all of the big guns on Give Day, and you want to hit this from many angles. So you want to use your current tools that you have. So whether you're using MailChimp or Constant Contact, sending out those emails, you want to use your website, you want to use your social media platform. You want to engage your board members and your volunteers and the population that you serve, your staff. It's all hands on deck on May 4th. So number 1, you're going to look at what communication tools you're already using in your organization. So look at the tools that you have and figure out how you can employ those on May 4th. Number 2, you want to look at what tools you're not currently using that you would like to incorporate in your campaign. And if some of those require a learning curve or some training, that's why it's good to start now, and you can start putting some of those plans into place. What current marketing collateral can you add a Give Local message to? So if you send out newsletters or you're working on your annual report and you want to put in a teaser for May 4th, what are you currently using marketing-wise that you can add a Give Local message to? Again, looking at what you already have in your arsenal and making it work harder for you to help that impact on May 4th. Again, what tools and resources do you need to implement this practice? So whether that is working with a graphic designer, or if you'd like to create video, finding a video partner, or using someone on your board or staff who has those skills, looking at what tools and resources you're going to need to really be successful in this arena. So once you've answered these questions, then it's time to start developing your plan and getting ready to execute. So you're going to use those notes from the best practices, and then we're going to pull it together. So the template we have here is an 8-week work plan. And that's keeping in mind that the first 4 weeks of the plan are dedicated to planning and preparation, and then the second half of the plan is dedicated to implementing, starting with some soft marketing and then transitioning to the really heavy push as we get to 2 weeks out from Give Day. Now, as I said before as a caveat, this is an 8-week plan, but getting an early start on it would be fantastic. So you can start doing some of these things now, and that will put you in an even better position when it comes time for May 4th. So you're setting out your Give Local York Give Day goals, your dollar goal, your donor goal, your new donor goal. You will compete for the following prize challenges, and again, the prizes will be forthcoming, so this is a piece that you'll have to wait a little bit longer on before you decide what challenges you're really going to try to focus on going after. And then your other goals, some of those soft goals that maybe can't be measured easily, more of the touchy-feelies, or if they're coming to ideas of measuring sort of your awareness or your engagement, website visits that day, new Facebook followers, those sort of things. So week 8, which we have outlined as March 12th through 16th, but again, you can start this now. You're going to want to set weekly meetings with your staff or volunteers who are going to be assisting you with your campaign. You're going to want to meet and complete this work plan. If you're creating special printed materials, decide what those will be and start getting into the idea of designing those and producing those. Again, TBA on the prize challenges, but decide on which ones you want to go after and which ones you're going to try to win. You want to start pulling together your donor email and contact list and make sure all of that information is ready to use. From other communities, what we've seen is they treat Give Day itself like a phone bank day. It's campaign day, it's election day, and you're just going through your contact information to reach out to your current donors, getting on the horn with them and asking them to support you. So you want to make sure all of those lists and contacts are ready to go so that you can use them on Give Day. And you want to create your outreach strategy for current donors. In this document, we have sort of a template kind of list here, a table that's broken into planning, communication, donor engagement, board engagement, and this can help you start to outline how you're going to start divvying up the work. So you're looking at the task and what staff member is going to be assigned that, with the statuses of that task, and then any notes. And again, this is a template. You can, customize it to work towards your needs, and you'll see this on all of the pages. Week 7, you're going to want to download all of the items from the Nonprofit Marketing Toolkit. And again, we're starting to build that out now. There are some pieces in the toolkit, and that will become much more robust as we get closer to Give Day. Begin outreach to local businesses to form partnerships and support. This is also a good opportunity if you already have partnerships with both businesses, whether they're supporting events or making donations to you, to reach out to them and see how you can engage those partnerships on Give Day for a larger impact. Start adding a Give Local logo to your email signature to let people know that you're participating. You can add a teaser or a save the date to your website and start using your e-newsletters. You're going to want to make sure that you're giving Give Local updates at your board meetings or your committee meetings, and making sure everybody knows the status of your campaign and what's going on moving forward, and making sure that you have completed all the checklist items from the previous week. And again, here is that templated task list, task table that you can use to keep yourself on track. Week 6 is when we're prepping for your soft marketing launch. So you're going to decide on the communication tools that you're going to use. You want to determine who will run your social media campaign, and whether that's a staff member, or you're going to hire a consultant, or it's a volunteer, or it's a board member, or it's you. Figure out who that person's going to be. You want to decide if your organization is going to host an event on May 4th. So while Give Local York Big Give Day is an online event and the gifts are coming in online, it's also meant to be a huge party all across York County. There are going to be various activities set up at different community locations. Downtown York, it's going to be First Friday, so there's lots of activities going on there. Hanover's planning activities, Delta's planning activities. The library system is on board to hopefully use their various locations across the county as sort of centralized hubs for giving, or if you yourself want to plan an activity in your community. So this is when you want to start deciding where you're going to be on Give Day and how you're going to get out there in the community. We have team cast-ins, register for Give Local York website training. That can happen in week 6. It will probably happen before then. We'll share out information as the website is ready to go, as the application process is up. We'll share with you how to fill out your profile and how to access all of the parts of the websites that you need to, and there will be various methods of trainings and information provided to you. Reach out to other nonprofits in your sector and see if there are some ways that you can partner. And this is huge. We're all about collaboration. We'd love to see you guys work together. So whether that is another organization that has a similar mission or is working with a similar population, or whether that's another nonprofit who's geographically located close to you. Give Local York's going to be all about strength in numbers and working together. So start forging those partnerships. We'll be sharing with all of you the other organizations that are participating, those that you're going to be in good company with. So that'll be a good list to start from, that you can start forming some of these relationships and trying to work together. And then you're going to want to create your staffing plan for May 4th itself, and figure out who's going to be doing what. And hopefully you're all going to be up with us all night long, the full 24 hours to start creating that staffing plan. And again, the task list table. Week 5 will be your soft marketing launch. So if you are using printed mailed materials, you want to drop them in the mail no later than the following week, accounting for how long it takes for mailing pieces to get out, usually about 10 days. You're going to work on your thank you plan for donors for day of May 4th and then post May 4th. You want to boast about your Give Local York profile. You want to use it to help promote your participation and start letting everybody know that you guys are a part of Give Local York. Do a check, make sure you've done everything on the previous checklist steps, and you want to start implementing your current donor outreach plan. So in these weeks leading up to Give Local York, that's when you want to start reaching out to your current donors to make sure they know you're participating, and to let them know that you hope they will help you on that day, spread the word, and also consider giving a gift on May 4th via the Give Local York website. Week 4, we're continuing the soft marketing. So you're going to create your board task list. You're going to start assigning that to members. You're going to send invites to your day of events if you're having one on May 4th, letting people know where you will be in person. You want to schedule key meetings with donors. So in those communications that you've been having prior, if you set up some pre-commitments, some meetings with the donors to talk about what their gift is going to be on Give Day, you want to schedule those key meetings now in those weeks leading up to May 4th. Begin talking about your involvement in Give Local at your meetings and events. Bring postcards with you, leave them in coffee shops and office lobbies, etc. This is also where you want to engage your board and your volunteers. If they are on other boards or they're on Rotary clubs or other committees, that make sure that they're out talking about Give Local York and your involvement in the event, and arm them with postcards or flyers or pieces to take with them so that they can help spread the word as well. And you want to continue to implement your communications plan, sending out those emails, making those social media posts, etc. Task list. Week 3, getting closer. We're preparing for your 2-week media marketing blitz. So you want to customize email templates from the toolkit. So we'll be putting together in the media toolkit some templates for you, some language that you can use to help everything have the same look and feel, and also just to help you provide you with the language. And you're going to want to start scheduling those e-blasts to go out. You're going to finalize your social media schedule and the content that you're putting out on your social media, continuing to schedule those key meetings with donors. You want to finalize those partnerships with businesses and other nonprofits. And then you want to start to contact local media, sending out press releases or building on current relationships you already have. Now, I will share at this point that Give Local York, the event itself, will be going really heavy with a media push. We have some really great media partners like Fox 43 and York Daily Record and 101.3. And we will be pushing Give Day itself very hard. We will also be doing some press in advance, helping to tell the stories of the organizations who are participating. But you should also plan on doing your own media outreach and push, especially if you're hosting an event on Give Day or you have a special story you want to tell. Week 2, heavy marketing begins. So you want to amp up your social media posts. You want to add your Give Local graphics to Facebook and Twitter. Again, we'll have all of that information available in the media kit as we get closer. So some cover photos and profile photos and frames and all of those sort of things for your use. You want to begin sending out those emails. You want to start making targeted phone calls to donors. We suggest hosting a kickoff event and talk to donors about Give Local, and you can do that in the 2 weeks leading up to. You want to flyer the businesses in your area. So this is when you're really starting to put it out there, make sure people are paying attention. May 4th is coming. And the beauty of this is that if all of the participating organizations are doing this, our reach will go much further. And hopefully on Give Day, we won't have anyone who has not heard of Give Day before May 4th. Week 1, so the week leading up to May 4th. May 4th is on a Friday. You want to make sure that you have your donor data link and you know how to access it through the Give Local York website, and we will be communicating with you very heavily, making sure you know how to do that, making sure everybody's all set for Give Day. So we will definitely help you with this piece. You want to continue your heavy social media presence. You want to remind your board of their roles on Give Day. So if they're responsible for outreach or sending email or posting to their own social media, or if they're going to be hosting an event for you, make sure that everybody who's participating knows what their job is that day. You're going to want to utilize Give Local PSAs, public service announcements, and instructional videos. We'll be putting out a lot of content video-wise and story-wise, so those will be available for you to share on your own social media, so make sure you take advantage of those tools that we're creating. You want to finalize your day of event plans if you're hosting an event. Finalize your day of roles and your staffing plan so everybody knows where they're supposed to be when. And then on Thursday, day before, you want to make sure that you've scheduled some social media posts before going to bed, or if you're going to be like me, you're just going to stay up the whole time anyway. So maybe you want to stock up on some energy drinks or coffee, or organize your sleeping schedule so you can determine who gets to sleep from what time. But this is all what's happening in those days leading up to May 4th, Give Day. So on Give Day itself, and as a note, there will be some additional webinars and trainings coming that talk more about Give Day itself and really dive into it so everybody knows what's going on. But so here's sort of your early checklist, just so you have an idea of what is going to happen on Give Day. So we kick off at midnight. It's happening. So you want to kick off midnight with a bang. So if you can, we're encouraging everyone to ensure at least 10 donors to give at midnight or during the first hour giving to really set that momentum and get it going. So work your current donor base, your current supporters, and see if you can get them to stay up at midnight for you and make some of those early gifts. And plus there will be some prizes associated with some of the first gifts to come in. So there's some extra incentive to get people to do that. You want to pound the pavement. You want to get out into the community. You want to attend events. You want to be out there with your organization. So there will be different opportunities, whether it's in downtown York or other communities across the county, to get out and table and exhibit and meet the community. You want to get out there and show people who you are as an organization. So if that means dressing up in costumes or bringing animals with you or little kids or having flash mobs or music or whatever, get out there and pound that pavement and do whatever works for you. Phone bank, have your team make calls, send texts, emails, Snapchat, whatever. Have your team in place to really get on the horn on May 4th, direct people to Give Local York to make those donations. You want to check in with all your board members, make sure that they are ready to implement your plan, that they know what they're doing on Give Day. You want to be active all day on social media. You want to check your donor link. We say every hour, but what we've heard in other communities is that it's addictive and people are just watching that all day long. But you want to make sure that you're checking in at least every hour. You want to thank your donors in real time, either on social media or email, but you'll be glued to your donor link all day long. So you want to make sure that you're checking in and know your status. And again, we have this table here for you. So day after and beyond, once we've made it through, again, we're going till 11:59. We're going to have a huge wrap party to celebrate our success. But the day after May 4th and beyond, here are some things that we're encouraging you to do. So number one, get some rest. You want to continue your plan of thanking all your donors. You want to implement those donor thank you plans. So whether those are calls or personal letters or cards or emails, and hopefully you will have assigned your team and staff members to help you do this. You want to send your thank yous to businesses or other nonprofits that you partnered with on Give Day. You're going to want to send an update to your board and your staff and your volunteers and networks on your results. So on the results of Give Day. And then you're also going to want to figure out how to track those metrics that you set up for yourself earlier. So again, following back and seeing if you gained new Facebook followers or how many hits you had to your website that day. Several of you are probably going to have to create a report to your board, or you're going to want to include this information in your annual report. So in the days after Give Day, you're going to want to be collecting that information so you have it for yourself. And then we at Give Local York are also going to be asking you for that information so that we are following our own metrics and we have an idea of how successful the day was for all of our participating organizations. And then you're also going to want to decide if you want to have a post thank you event, a thank you party or something along those lines. So after Give Day, it's about resting and taking care of yourself, but it's also about thanking everybody and collecting your metrics and your results from that day. So this was sort of this 8-week plan. Again, we'd love for you to start before 8 weeks, but I know because this is a first-time endeavor for a lot of organizations, it's a first-time endeavor for me. We wanted to go through some of this information and really help you through it, and to make sure you know that we're here to support you and that we're all in this together and we're all working together. So let me just pull up again for you some of these skills, some of these skills trainings and other things that we're going to have available to you, and point you towards the various resources that we have available. So at givelocalyork.org, we have information on how to sign up to participate. If you haven't pre-registered yet, I encourage you to do so. The official application will be available. We're shooting for the end of January or early February, at which point you'll be setting up your profile. You will be submitting your $150 registration fee. So all of that will come later. At this point, we are in pre-registration mode to get a firmer commitment from nonprofit organizations who are interested in participating, and then also building that list for ourselves as we are out fundraising for this event and letting people know about who's in. And as we're talking about who's in, we have been adding everybody to the website as they have been submitting their pre-registration, and we are at about 70 participants right now, so we're well on our way to our goal of 200 participating nonprofits. Also here we have links to all of these nonprofit resources for you. So the video from the first info session, the participant guidelines, which I highly encourage, actually very much stress that you all read so you know what you're getting yourself into, but some other resources there for you, as well as the media kit, which will be growing. Some more information about social media and helping to spread the word. There are instructions here right now on things you can be doing today to really help grow the awareness around this event. So information on how to invite your network to like the Give Local York Facebook page, to invite them to RSVP for the Facebook event, the hashtag, which is Give Local York, instructions on how to spread the word via all those channels. We also have some information, and I'll go through this right now, when it comes to Facebook events and Facebook event guidelines, is we are asking that individual organizations do not create their own Facebook event for Give Local York itself, but rather that you add the event to your page, and we have instructions on how to do that on the resources page of givelocalyork.org. And what that will do is it will add the main Give Local York event to your Facebook page, so that it already falls under your events. But if you are planning on hosting an event on May 4th, a Give Local York event, we also have instructions here on how to create that Facebook event and how to name it. So we're asking you to name that GLY : your event name. So whether that's GLY My Organization's Fun Run or GLY My Organization's Happy Hour. So that way we can avoid confusion, and we want to make sure we're directing everybody to the main event, which is the Give Local York Big Give Day. And so instructions on how to add that event to your page can be found on the resources page of Give Local York. So I hope you found this information helpful. We will continue to put all of these videos and webinars and documents and all of this information up on the resources page of Give Local York. If you know that you're in and you're ready to go, I would suggest getting started on that work plan now. It doesn't have to be 8 weeks out. It would be even better if you start today. So you have that information and you're ready to go. If you have questions as you're going throughout the process, we are here to help you, and information on how to contact us is also available on the Give Local York website. But we are so excited that you are joining in this endeavor with us, and we are thrilled that we are bringing a day of giving, a day where we get to celebrate all of your work, and a day where we are really democratizing generosity and encouraging everyone in York County to be a philanthropist and to support the work of organizations like yours that are working so hard to support York County and all of its residents. So thank you so much, and trust we will be in touch. Thank you.